Hey everybody, I'm Justin with VMP Performance. Welcome back to our channel. Today I am going to show you how VMP throttle bodies are made. Mr. Matt over here is going to be showing us around the machine shop, and we're basically going to be walking through every step of the process. So what do we got right here?
Okay, so we're doing the third operation on the gears that go in the gearbox.
Okay, so everybody knows that throttle bodies, electronic throttle bodies, have gears inside of them. So we gotta wait for this machine to slow down a little bit, and I'll actually show you one of the small aluminum gears that is inside of a VMP throttle body. So, and this is actually, that is the gear that drives the blade, right?
Correct.
So this gear, you can see it's only got teeth on one side. The blade only has to open 90 degrees, and it's actually slightly less than 90 degrees. So that's why there are not teeth cut all the way around the gear on that one.
Oh.
So before we go to that next operation, you can kind of see it not bolted down in a machine. Do you have more of these being made?
Yeah, we're gonna see that earlier on.
Okay.
Do the actual pieces for the other end.
Okay, cool. So everything's not exactly in order here, but we're gonna show you a bunch of parts of the process, and then we're gonna go look at the throttle bodies before assembly.
All right, here we're making our shaft for the swing jet.
Okay. So I just showed you a billet aluminum gear that drives the blade and goes on the shaft. That's for our larger monoblade series of throttle bodies. On the smaller twin 67 and twin 69 throttle body, we actually reuse the factory Ford shaft with the plastic gear on and everything. And that's one of the reasons we get such great drivability, because it's the same parts just with a bigger blade. And you can see here, they're modifying one of the factory shafts, and they're basically slotting it out to take a larger blade. Oh, look at this. All right, I don't want to mess up the tour. All right,
No worries.
Okay, so
this is off one of the mono blades. Start. Oh yeah, feel free.
This is about as heavy as it looks. And that's what one of our throttle bodies starts out with. To make a full billet throttle body, you got to start with a full chunk of billet aluminum. Okay.
So off one.
That's what you guys call op one right there.
Yep.
Awesome. Dude, this right here, that's serious.
Serious drill. So we just have to hog the drill out of the bore before we go to profile.
Woo! That's a heck of a lot of chips that would be flying when that process is going.
We're just setting this up now. That's going to be the plunger.
Okay. That right there is what I call a spring-loaded stop screw, and that's a very important function of a drive-by-wire throttle body. If the spring is too stiff, you run into some issues like what we had with our twin 72 throttle body, and if it's too soft, you can run into some issues as well. Having the perfect spring pressure for the spring-loaded stop screw is really crucial.
So here what we're doing is going from basically drop one, the backside profile, we're doing all the fancy stuff on the front.
So one of the reasons that a VMP twin 67 throttle body supports so much horsepower is because we spend a lot of time profiling the entry to the bores. So even though it's only a twin 67mm bore, it gets a ton of airflow in there because of this big wide open D shape. And that allows us to make good drivability while still making good power. So we're getting a little farther along in the process here. I can see we've got a logo.
And the gearbox interface, the TPS side, all gets done on the rotary axis. So it's helping the machine like this.
Oh, wow. So you guys actually have a 4-axis machine to do this?
Rotary on it, yeah.
Okay, awesome. We're getting a little wet if we're not careful.
Yeah, indeed.
So there are so many, when you take a solid block of aluminum and you have to cut all these different features in it, you end up doing it in different steps or operations, and It's pretty cool you guys are using a rotary to get the last couple operations. That makes everything way more accurate because the final steps where you have to locate important things like the TPS and the gearbox are all done in what's called basically one operation because it never has to be unclamped or changed machine.
Oh, here we're doing the teeth on the gear.
Teeth on the gears, okay. So if you guys can kind of see in there, that's how the aluminum gear that we saw at the very beginning, that's how it starts out. That's where they cut the teeth on it before they go and do the other operation.
So that's the blade for blank, and then that's the...
Oh, okay. So that comes out of the lathe, then we go to this, and then we go to what we saw down there. Okay, so a little something you may or may not have picked up on, the new VMP monoblade for 14 and older was the first throttle body housing we saw, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. So we made a VMP monoblade for 15 up Mustangs and Fords with the stock 15 up electronics, but we still have to go back and make one for 05 to 14, which covers the GT500s and the earlier Coyotes. And these are the first ones right here. That'll end up being the VMP 137 monoblade with GT500 electronics. And that's gonna be our smaller monoblade geared more for street applications. And there'll be the big 163R monoblade, which you guys haven't started cutting yet, but you will pretty soon, right? Yeah. So it's awesome to get to come out here and make a stop by the machine shop and see what we're gonna have in our hands very, very soon. We wanna go watch go look at the blingy stuff?
Let's go take a look.
Matt, this is the quieter side of the machine shop.
It is.
So we are over here in the assembly room, and I do not have to yell anymore because there's no machines going except for fans. And we have just got piles and piles of beautiful finished VMP twin jet throttle bodies. When I say finished, they're back from polishing and they're ready for final assembly. I'm just gonna kind of talk about some of the unique steps that are part of a good throttle body assembly and help ensure consistency, idle quality, and drivability with the whole line of VMP throttle bodies. You can see that these throttle bodies have got bearings, they've got pins in them. When these grow up, they'll be VMP twin jet 69 throttle bodies for 15 to 17 and 18 to 19. Then over here, we have got 163R throttle bodies. I gotta be careful not to touch the polished portion. Initially, we only made a very small batch of 163R throttle bodies. We wanted to make sure that the drivability and everything was good before we mass produced them. They worked awesome. You probably saw Track Attack make 1141 rear wheel horsepower. It had that throttle body on it. So now we are going into mass production. So if you've got one on order with us, thank you for waiting patiently. They're gonna be shipping out in probably the next week or two. They may already be shipping by the time you see this video. So one of the most important parts of throttle body assembly and verification is this little setup right here. That is a flow bench, and that is where the idle airflow is set. So basically, when you close the blade all the way, it is adjusted to a calibrated amount of air leakage across the blade. And that's one of the ways with these big aftermarket throttle bodies we ensure good idle quality, good consistency. Because there's some kind of old school ways to set these things. I've heard that you should set them visually, and that's just not scientific enough for me. This machine actually tells us air leakage, CFM, velocity, everything. See. That is going to give us a quantifiable scientific way to calibrate the throttle bodies before they're ever shipped to you. We do a lot of remote tuning at VMP. It makes it easier for us to do our job of tuning your car if we know the hardware is good. And then another thing we had to start doing when we offered 18 up throttle bodies is we had to build a test bench, because every throttle body that VMP sells already has electronics on it. And being that the 18 up throttle body electronics are digital, they're no longer analog, so good old voltmeter. Yes, there is actually an SCT tuner hooked up to the throttle body test bench so we can see what the closed throttle position is, set the counts correctly, in combination with setting the airflow correctly. Pretty simple, but it works great and it helps us ensure a consistent product for you. So that's what we do. Well, I hope you enjoyed seeing how VMP throttle bodies are made. Hopefully you'll want to put some of this eye candy on your car, very high performance eye candy. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. All right, everybody, bonus footage. We will soon be offering throttle bodies for Hellcats. This is the 105 that we're working on right here. This is just a prototype. Don't pay too much attention to that. It's really rough. The finished throttle bodies are gonna be much nicer. So soon to come from VMP, Hellcat throttle bodies. I'll see you next time.